world, rejoice! Rejoice in my magnificence, as I have come to bring you Brawley. Brawley's cool. Alright, so this is a deck tech for the Dragon Ball Super card game of a deck that I played on the weekend, that I went 2-1 with. So I think my only loss was to... It was blue deck, I think. It's a long time. It's been like 2 days. I don't remember. But this deck is amazing fun. And I'm going to go through and show you why. So the first thing is Brawley. Brawley is a beat stick. Whenever Brawley attacks, both you and your opponent have to discard a card. I know, wait for it, that sounds terrible. We'll get into that. So, to negate Brawley's ability, we have Brawley's Ring. So Pragus, Brawley's father, likes to control Brawley. What this is a field card for 1 energy, and this negates the effect of Brawley on yourself and not on your opponent, so you'll no longer have to discard. The great thing is we're actually running 3 of these, because they're actually a little bit easier to get. I'll show you why in a second. But it means any extra ones you get, you can actually use as an energy source. Put it down, and you're covered, and my cat is sneezing. That was adorable. Okay, so the other thing that we use is for Pragus. So Pragus controller basically goes and gets us a ring. So when you play Pragus for the 2, you discard a card from your hand, you can go and search for Brawley's Ring and put it into play. So this is quite a keen 2-drop. So basically what you want to do is you want to mulligan as hard as you can for either one of these or one of the Brawley's Ring, so that you can profit directly off that. It means that you can generally get them pretty quickly, and you don't have to worry about perhaps not having it. It's also 10,000 attack, so, you know, it's pretty average, but it's fine. The next one is, and this is a weird one, but we're running 3 of Brawley, excuse me, Dawn of Rampage. So, what Brawley Dawn of Rampage does, you can see it's quite low at 5,000, but when you play it, it has an auto that you go looking through the top of your deck, the top 7 cards of your deck. I don't know why I stumbled on that. And search for a Brawley card. Now, there is a promo that's actually kind of hard to get right now that's like 4 casting cost or 4 energy cost. It's really good. Unfortunately, we don't have them, we can't search for them. So instead, we're playing 2 Rampaging Lifeform Bio Brawley. So what this is, it's an evolution card. So 2 colorless and 2 green to evolve. This card also has double strike, and it has an auto that when it comes into play, your opponent has to discard 2 cards of their choice from their hand. Again, it's also 20,000 attack. It's really nice. It is a 5 cost. You get it for 1 cheaper because of evolve. Speaking of evolve, this is where the deck starts getting expensive. Now we're only playing 2 of these, and I'll explain why in just a second. But 30,000 Brawley is amazing. So this is Brawley the Rampaging Horror, and it's all fairly and kind of hard to read. But it is a normal 6 casting cost, so it needs to have 6 and 4 green. Instead you can play it for 5, so 4 green and 1 colorless if you evolve it onto another Brawley card. And it has double strike. When it comes into play, you get to make your opponent discard 2 cards from their hand randomly. So that is boss. Obviously very, very good for what it does. Now, I hear you saying, but what about trying to control the board? Controlling a hand is fine. How do we control the board? Well, we're playing 3 full power energy. So it is a 1 casting cost, or 1 energy cost event card. It has counterattack, negate an attack, then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 1 or less and KO it. So this will get rid of the annoying things like Krillin can be pretty annoying, kind Saiyan Son Goku, which is the blue one that goes searching through the top 7 for a Goku card. So there is a lot of uses for this. It can also kill off things like the 1 energy cost freezer. Obviously that's all it does, it just prevents an attack. But again, if you're stopping something that has double or triple damage, then it's a plus in my books. We're running 2 Family Kamehameha, again another 1 cost. This time though, this gets a 2 or less cost battle card. So we're running 2 of those. We are running 2 Son Goten Family of Justice. Now this is an interesting one because it's only when you attack, or when one of your battle cards attack, and you combo with this. So very rarely you're going to be playing as its 10 cost self, 10 attack self. You're generally going to be playing it as only 5,000, but killing off something worth 3 or less. Yeah, energy cost 3 or less. So that's actually really good for clearing out multiple threats that could come up. Frieza's army, or Frieza decks, are pretty... they're pretty horrible to deal with. They're pretty full on. There's a couple of cards in this deck that I think I might swap out to deal with Vegeta Blue, because Vegeta Blue is probably the biggest problem that this deck faces, because Vegeta Blue's crits means that you're not getting those life cards to your hand, they're going directly to your drop. So that obviously isn't a good thing for you, because then you have no other way to draw cards outside of some other stuff that we're playing, which we'll get to in a second. Speaking of 20,000 attackers, we are playing 2 Rampaging Attack Vegeta. So it is also a counter attack card, which comes in handy, so that you can play it on your opponent's turn when they attack. It also has double strike so that you can deal that extra point of damage. When you play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 4 or less and KO it. So you'll see the theme here is not just, hey, I want to control your hand, but it's also, I want to control your board. I want to keep the stuff in your area out of there. There's a reason for this as well. So if we go back to the Brawley card, Brawley actually can't attack battle cards. So you need to have ways to control battle cards. The other thing is, when Brawley awakens into the legendary Super Saiyan, Brawley is actually one of the stronger personalities in this game. So when Brawley attacks, Brawley will make you discard that card, but when it's awakened, it'll also make you discard a card from your battle area. That's where these guys come in. Now I should probably up this to 4. We're actually only playing 3 of these. 15k attack's nothing to sneeze at. These are amazing. So, when this card is placed in the drop area from the battle area, if your leader card is Brawley, which of course it is, then you may discard 1 card from your hand and then put this back into play. So, comes back into play, all ready to fight all over again. Now, there's 2 things here. The first one is, he says as he knocks his monitor, if you attack with this card, turn it sideways, and then say on the next turn your opponent decides they're going to kill this card with something, that's fine. That's no problem. As long as you've got cards in hand and you can afford to, you can discard the card even on your opponent's turn and get this back into play. So that's a really big thing for this deck. And that's why I'm probably end up making this into a 4 of instead of a 3 of, just because it is such a great card to have. Going through, we'll go on to the next one. We've got Energy Power Gotenks. Again, more discard. A very healthy body. So 15,000 attack. When this attacks a leader, you make your opponent discard a card to the drop zone. So one of the things is, when you're dealing your opponent damage, they're getting a card to the hand. That's fine. This also makes them discard first. So they have to discard the card, and then they're drawing a card from their life. So it's not really like they get to select which card is better. They're pretty much gambling. Is this card better, or am I going to go for the one that's in the life deck? I mean, they have to discard a card, but if they've got multiple cards, then it makes their choice a little bit harder. So I think that Energy Power Gotenks is actually really cool. Speaking of Gotenks, we do run 2 Super Saiyan Gotenks, 25k, very nice card. Again, this is only a rare, so it's only going to cost you about $5. This does have also Evolve Gotenks. So 3 green and 1 colorless. It has double strike, and when you play this card, you can choose up to 2 of your energy cards, untap them, and draw a card. So, you know, either way, if you're playing this for 4, it's amazing. If you're playing it for 5, it's not terrible. It's a really good Evolve card. I really, really do say that that you should think about putting those in your deck if they're not already, and they really should be. Next card up, and let's just check our chat. Hi chat, good to see you. Okay, so the next card that's up, we've got Slasher Trunks. Now, I didn't find this card very overwhelming. It was extremely underwhelming, and I might actually replace it. It's a great 10,000 attacker for just one. That's fine. And the evolution card I play it for is fine as well. We played 2 of these. Implacable Trunks. So Implacable Trunks is a 15,000 attack Trunks. It has evolve for 2 green and 1 colorless. But it can only evolve to Trunks Future. That's very important to remember. So this card also has double strike. It has revenge. So when this card is attacked, you get to KO the attacking card after the battle. It has an auto. When a card evolves into this card, you may choose up to 1 card from your drop area and add it to your hand. So it's a good way to get some cards like this back. And we're playing 4 of these. Trunks, Protector of Children. 2 cost, 12,000 attack. You're generally not going to play this to attack, to be honest, because you're going to combo with it. Because when you combo with this, if you have 4 or less life cards and your leader is green, then you get to draw a card, and this gets 10,000. So it's going to add a nice big boost to you in the late game, and going to draw you a card. Especially if you can combo with these, and if you use Implacable Trunks to get it back, it starts making sense that it starts kind of feeling a bit more like what we want to do with the deck, which is drawing cards, getting cards back, and basically just getting as much advantage over your opponent as possible. The other card we've got, Son Goku. 2 cost, 15k. It's a solid attacker if you use it that way. The only reason we're really playing those is because of these. Now, these are, like the Brawley, a super rare. So we've got Awakening Rage Son Goku. It is usually 6 with 2 green. You can evolve Son Goku for 3 green and a 2 colorless. It has double strike, but we run 2 of these. If you have Krillin in your drop area, then this card gains triple strike. This is a killer. Also, it has an auto that when you play this card, you get to choose any number of your opponent's battle cards with a total cost that adds up to 6 or less, and then put those into the drop zone. So, solid attacker, very solid. We just grab that up. So 25,000 base, solid attacker. If you evolve, it's really good. I would suggest playing these. Maybe even have a couple in the sideboard is a potential thing. And that is pretty much everything in the deck. Now, there are some other points to this deck, and I've been fooling around with the sideboard. So the sideboard is not perfect. It's like missing a couple of cards, which we won't really focus on. But we are running 4 Furious Yell Vegeta, solid attacker for 4. You get a 20k, has double strike, has activate main. Once per turn, you can place 1 card from your life into the drop area and choose one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. I mean, that is just solid removal, and I think these might actually end up replacing the Trunks. Sure, the Trunks can get something back at some point, but I'd much rather have something that can actually take out battle cards and not have to worry about attacking them with my other things, and instead just smashing the hero, their leader, because that makes a lot more sense. For other blockers, we're running the 10,000 Son Gohan Family of Justice. I'm not keen on blockers. I haven't been able to use them properly yet, so I don't know if it's really going to be that great. These were a sideboard option just to go against like red aggro, because red aggro is just going to kick your ass no matter who you are. It can kill you in 3 turns. So I thought I'd put some stuff in here that would act as a stopper. We're running another Super Saiyan Gotenks in the side, just because we can, and another Raging Attacker Vegeta. Well, that's it. That's Brawley. Brawley is so much fun to play. It is so powerful but not overpowered. It reminds me of the old Score Z Black deck, if you ever played that. There was a couple of different iterations. There was an Android 18 one that was actually really good. And I think that this is just a very, very solid deck. So I would urge you to at least try it out if you can. Or just borrow somebody's and try it from there. But until next time, this is Cheshire, and keep cracking packs.